Today we're going to show you how to install Dr. Pulley sliders into a 2013 KYMCO Super8 150. Okay, the first thing we do is take off this foot peg, and that is already done. I'll show you that in just a second. Start by removing this foot peg with a 6mm hex. And then we have 10 8mm hex bolts that go around this casing here. And we're going to take those off. Now I'm going to lay these bolts out in a pattern on the floor where they come off to make sure that the same bolt goes in the same hole. This one here goes around a little clip, so you have to make sure you get that back in there when you put it back together. These bolts have a little rubber seal on there. Make sure you don't damage those. Okay, so we got all 10 of our bolts out. We also need to take out this breather cover here, and there's a Phillips head screw on the bottom to release this clamp. So we'll just loosen that. Don't have to remove it. You can feel the screw end of the screw on the back side. Slide that forward. And slide that off. Okay, we'll just rest that up there. All right, now this case cover should be ready to come off. Sometimes it takes a little persuasion, especially if it's the first time you've ever had it off. This one here I've had off before, so we'll see how easy it is to come off. This is just a 1-pound mallet, and it's popping off real easy. Okay, and there it is. Some models of scooters you have to take this off, but on the Super 8 you do not. What we will do is we'll clean this out. Do not lose your pins. There is a pin here that aligns it, and a pin here that aligns it onto this case here, and down here. So when I clean this out, I'm going to use brake cleaner, and I'm also going to remove this rubber gasket because that brake cleaner will eat at that gasket. So set that off to the side, and we look at our belt. Here's our belt. I think this belt is in good shape, but I've got a new one, so I'm going to replace it. That way I'm planning on selling this scooter, and that way the new owner will have a brand new belt, and I will keep this old one, and they'll have one for backup. I just think it's the right thing to do. All right, we're ready to take the variator nut off, and these things are known to be really hard to take off for the first time. So what I got here is my variator tool, and it goes in these 2 pins here, and then that will hold that while I try to take this nut off. That nut is a 17mm, and I've got a 17mm socket here. I'm using a 6-sided socket to get the best leverage, a 3/8 extender, and then a 3/8 to a 1/2 inch drive. I'm going to use my 1/2 inch drive. I also found out, taking the clutch bell off one time, that it is better to go down with your movement on your rotation than it is to go up. I think you just get more leverage. Okay, when this turns, it's going to push this bar up against this clutch bell. So that should be good. Make sure I got this going the right way, and I don't. All right, let's see how we do. Oh man, that was nice. It was tight, but it wasn't bad at all. That's coming right off of there. Okay, now this is the first time I've ever removed anything like this. So another precaution that I'm going to take is to make sure that when I pull things off, I lay them out in the exact order that they come off the bike. That way I know what order they come back on or go back on in. So we got the nut. Okay, and then we've got a spacer. And then we've got this gear for the kickstart grab. And then we got a variator plate. And you can see from the wear on this plate that we're getting about a fat 1/8 of an inch where we're not getting the belt out to. So that could end up being more speed if we're able to end up using that space on there. Pull this belt off. And there's the old belt. Still got the part number on there where you can read it.